Good evening, dear racing fans out there on this Monday evening. Another Monday, another Dragon Force Racing League. Tonight, here on this legendary track of Spa-Francorchamps, we will have a 18 minutes qualifying followed by 22 laps of Dragon Force Racing on this evening, where next to the race is the Euros soccer match between France and Switzerland. In case you are watching me live or you are one of the drivers listening to me, I will keep you updated about the match that is running simultaneously. That was the reason why we had some problems in getting full grid together. We are with 16 drivers here now. So 16 is still quite okay. Let's see what we will get out of this evening here today. There are a bunch of new names that are not familiar to me, so I'm not so sure how or what to expect. There is one or two drivers who might join in a little bit later. It is at least Jair and I think another driver who is wanting to join later during the qualifying, and there we saw last place, who already almost crashed his racing point here in his outlap, right there at the exit of Eau Rouge. So yeah, let's see what we will get out of this qualifying. Araujo has joined now belated. Let's see if he can jump into a car. The drivers are meant to leave one racing point open for Jair, and for Jair this can be a very, very important evening, because his main rival in the championship, Zondi, is not in tonight. And just let me look up the standings right now. Zondi is leading with 34 points, so that means if Jair wins it, he could close the gap, at least get a lot closer, but he must win. A P4, P5, something that does not help, so Jair must win. Another big name who is not here tonight is Anand Tanki, that's the Slayer. He is in P3 in these standings, and as he is unable to make up points for tonight, he will then be out of the championship race. So still no hot lap set, still no time set. This is just one expression how long this track is. Spa-Francorchamps, the longest track in the whole race calendar, over 7 kilometers, and that is the reason why after 4 minutes there is still no time set. Further, it seems to be a dry race, maybe too. We will see. There's always some rain possibility in Spa, but at least right now it looks dry. And Skin Dog is the first one with a 142.7, who who is leading the way, at least here for the moment. And new name for me, Cabrinecon, however it is pronounced, had to stay behind the skin dog in his ass. Likewise to Tom HKR and Xenex Josh, who had a really disheartening crash last week in Abu Dhabi with Tom Inferno plus some Discord chat room aftermath. Xenex Josh has rejoined here tonight. Tom Inferno has not. We have seen 2 more drivers who left the DFRL or had to leave after last week's race. I'm not so sure which way it was round. Anyway, my old acquaintance Percy is already gone again. And who else is on a hot lap? Maybe let's have a look at the weatherman Harry. He is running on softs here in his Ferrari. He just started it into Eau Rouge. And out on the long Camel Straight, the US Open of course. Corby now into P2, 2/10 behind Skin Dog. Shippo, the legendary Peter Shipley, in 5th. Son of Simp, don't know if that is, if he can be called Bart Simpson. Anyway, he is in 6th. Gavin Poynton, one of our admins, in P8, almost 30 seconds behind Skin Dog, but Gavin ran on mediums, so not so surprising that the time of Gavin wasn't very competitive. Further, we see Kian Stevens, who is running on mediums right now. PWR Grim Revere has run a lap, but it got deleted. Was an invalid lap time. You can see 1 lap's old softs, but no time set. So with 1 lap he ran on the medium, on the soft tire, got deleted due to track limits. And Weatherman Harry is almost a second behind Skin Dog. I was expecting him to be fast. He was medium fast. Oh wow, Kian Stevens was fast. Kian Stevens, new pole setter with a 142.4 and doing that on mediums. Wow, incredible. Really hot lap from Kian Stevens. Now on a hot lap is Mr. Morgan, J.R. Morgan. Here in the intermediate sector. I can tell you there has not happened anything in the France-Swiss game. Still zip after 13 minutes. And now Jason Sargent in the last position right now is on a hot lap too. Let's stay with Morgan real quick and see what and where and how he finishes. He is 7th, and now let's have a look at my old friend Jason Sargent. Taking really every inch of the track here in these sections, and that was too much. It was too much. A few inches too much. The minimap is red. That means his time got deleted. Yeah, this is one thing the fans are really hoping for the new game to have a bit more realistic track limits stuff, because on some tracks it's really annoying, really unrealistic, and just refigure the Austrian Virtual Grand Prix in January, in case you watched it. If not, I tell you now. With Antonio Liuzzi, who has been a Formula One driver in something around 2010, 2012. With Antonio Liuzzi participated in the Virtual Grand Prix in Austria. And Switzerland is leading! My goodness! Switzerland is leading 1-0 from Haris Seferovic, who scored. Yeah, I wanted to say that in January there was this virtual Grand Prix in Austria. With Antonio Liuzzi, former real-life F1 driver, participated, and Liuzzi in the end really got disqualified from the race for having too many track limit penalty seconds, and that was just ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. That was just a showcase of ridiculousism, in case that is an English word. And yeah, anyway, most fans are hoping for an improvement there. I'm working with one other league, the Mainstream Racing Series, every Wednesday evening. It's one of the few leagues who run on regular corner cut, just to avoid the game or the race being decided too much by penalty seconds. And yeah, there are some tracks where this does have some issues too, especially in qualifying. But overall, I like it a bit more, I got to admit. Because in Spa, it's more or less okay. It's actually just right here, the bus stop chicane, or maybe the Eau Rouge section, where you can pick up track limit penalties. But there are some tracks where it can get really ugly. I remember a race in Monza where we had a late safety car phase. Monza. Oh, there he is gone. H. Collins. We just watched him posting the 12th fast lap time. And right on the outlap in Eau Rouge, he has shot his McLaren to the cemetery. So let's have a look at the only driver who has not been posting a time yet, but is on a hot lap. That is last place. He's not on the last place yet, but if he doesn't put up a hot lap, he will be, maybe. Yeah, to complete the story, while last lap is pushing himself into 8th, we had this race in Monza that was for the L2S community, while Jason Sargent, who is part of L2S, has just invalidated the lap time again. And late safety car phase in Monza, we had a bunch of penalties already piled up before the safety car phase. Then with the safety car, the field was totally densed together, and we had just 3 or 4 laps of racing in the end. And so the grid was totally reshuffled. I remember the P2 driver who was about to finish in 2nd after the penalties, then dropped down to 9th. So what a big up and down in this race, and all of that just because of just 2 unrealistic corner cut penalties. But one more thing I read or heard about the rumors of the new game while we watch. Not Look Back has posted a new poll time. Not Look Back, but with 4 minutes remaining, he is maybe already finished. He might not make it again to the pits and start a new hot lap. And while we watch Grim Revere posting hopefully his first hot lap time now, Another rumor mill, is that the floor damage will be increased a lot. So if you run over aggressively over some curbs or maybe some sausage curbs that are on some tracks, it can occur that the floor will have heavy damage and totally ruin your aerodynamics. What would be interesting, very realistic and interesting. And oh, have a look. Grim Revere aborted the hot lap try. So just quick comeback to the pits, fresh tires, and then go out again. Yeah, and with this probably / hopefully incoming floor damage, this could mean that cutting corners too much, running over curbs too intensely, will be could get ugly very easily in the new game. Let's just hope that this will be a good mix between track limit penalties and floor damage from exceeding track limits and running over curbs. So right now Luke Beck is returning to his pits, and he even might make it. Maybe. If he wants, of course, he might have a chance to get himself fresh tires and get out again, but his pit crew has to hurry up a bit if he wants. Let's have a look who is on our hot lap maybe right now. Jason Sargent managed it, now up in 6th, but that is it. He is finished maximally in 6th, but did so on mediums. And J.R. Morgan is still running. Let's have a look. He's at the end of Camel Straight. No improvements for him. Grim Revere on an outlap. Jair has joined, but it's too late. He will not make it for a hot lap. So Jair, who I mentioned, who must win here today, or at least get on the podium, if he wants to make up enough points in the championship run against Sondi, he will... Oh no, now he's running a hot lap. No, he's not. Nope, he is not. Jair will not post a time. He is sitting in an Alpha Tauri. He's actually a Racing Point driver. Anyway, Jair will start from P16, maybe even 17th, depending on what Grim Revere will do now. He's still on an out lap. Let's have a look on who is on a hot lap. That's maybe the Weatherman Harry. Skin Dog is so too, and now Kian Stevens. So everyone is trying to have another shot. For me, it's right now very hard to tell who to watch, who might be the hottest driver when it comes to attacking Luke Beck for the pole. Let's have a look where Weatherman Harry is at the end of sector 2. What the time will say for him then. He does not look fast, does not look good. He is giving space, and this is it for him. What is Skin Dog doing? A little bit of improvement in sector 1, but not enough to attack the pole. Kian Stevens might be on a hot lap. A real hot lap. He has improved by half after sector 2. Now in the bus stop, and in the end, it is a pole. It is the pole. Kian Stevens improving his own time by 6/10, and that makes him 3/10 faster than not Luke Beck. And what does the Skin Dog do? Blanchiment here. And it's the next Josh, hot lap 2, giving him P2, pushing not Luke Back, and Capricorn into the second starting row. Oh, there is a wrecked Alpha Tauri. And Skin Dog is 4th in the end. And that should be it. Only Grim Revere is still running. Not sure if he's really fast. The 130 here at bus stop does not look that fast. Nope. Oh no, he's P6. Yeah, at least P6 for Grim Reveal. That is not bad. In the very, very last moment, he had a chance for posting odd lap, and that gives him P6, and that makes Jair dead last. So this is our starting grid for the Belgium race. We see Kian Stevens in the pole, followed by Zenex, Josh, and Not Look Back. In fourth, Skindog. 5, Cabrinicon. P6, Grim Revere. 7th, Corby. 8, Jason Sargent. 9th, JR Morgan. 10, Weatherman Harry. Free tire option from the American last place. 12th goes to Gavin Poynton. 13, the legendary Michael Shipley. 14, Son of Simpson. 15, Tom HKR. 16, H. Collins. 8, NRD 554. And no time set for, not Frenzy this time, no time set for Jair. So our drivers have half a minute of time to get the setup done, to have at least some little minor changes about the setup and get the tire strategy into the game. It looks like a dry race, at least for the start. And I will have a short sip and be back with you in a moment. So this is our installation lap. Kian Stevens leading the way. We see the top 10 have to start on their qualifying tires, of course. Everyone on softs except Jason Sargent. Then in the background there are a lot of softs too. So just when you speak about it, here's the tire strategy presented to you by the Amazon Web Services. It is only Shippo on mediums, Tom and H. Collins. The rest is starting on softs because Spa is a track where you do not have to start on mediums, where you do not have the biggest strategy advantage if you start on mediums, because you can have a one-stop race from soft to hard too. There are some tracks where it's a monstrous advantage if you start on mediums, like in Bahrain, like in France. But there are some tracks where this effect is not that big, and that one of them is Spa. So let's see if the medium starters, yeah, what that will bring to them. Just the handful, just the 4 of them. So Kian Stevens already back in his starting box. A bit of poor camera angle for the upcoming start. Let's find us a better camera. This looks good. The 5 red lights. And then the Dragon Force Spa Grand Prix. Here we go. Lights out in Spa. Down to La Source. Kian Stevens defended his lead in the background. We can see already the first debris flying off. That might have been Gavin Poynton. Yes, it is. Gavin Poynton in the Ferrari, who has already touched the barrier there, but he is still active. And the other Ferrari is out too. At least not totally out, but Weatherman Harry had some intense troubles here in Eau Rouge, and in the lead is now Zenex Josh. We see Tom HKR, didn't catch it, but Tom HKR is out. Tom HKR has lost his car on the camera straight. Sadly, I didn't see it as we were focusing on the second Ferrari digging out of the tire barrier in Eau Rouge. So, first lap, first DNF, first stint for Bernd Meidender in the safety car. And so let's have a short look what happened here. Position change, just a lead swap from Stevens to Josh. Then we see a few swaps up and down. Capricorn, I don't know, has gained the position from Skindog, +2 from Shea Morgan, each -1s for Corby and Sargent. A double +6, H. Collins and Khair. Hey, Khair already up into 11th. Wow. Good start for him. And the losers then behind. That is, ooh, the second Mercedes. What's Luke Beck doing there? My goodness. Totally missed the braking point here in yellow condition. Yeah, and we see the first penalty. Son of Simp and Gavin Poynton both simultaneously caught themselves a +5. The game will automatically hand out a +5 if you tag someone else during a safety car phase. 4 pit stops, 5 now. No, it's 4. Both the Ferraris and Weatherman Harry will have to wait. Oh, this takes so long. Gavin Poynton taking or serving a penalty, then getting his nose repaired, and Weatherman Harry has to wait and wait and wait behind him. The only positive thing about it is that we are on a safety car. That means he can easily catch up. He's last anyway, and he can easily catch up to the rest of the field then. So, during the race, this would have been totally ruining everything for him. Another double +5 seconds penalty, Sargent and Collins. So, Jippo is not leading. This is the usual lap 2 glitch. Lately I heard it being called the lobby glitch. I don't know, maybe this is the official name among the fans. I don't know. Anyway, this malfunction really annoys me because we have seen it from day one, really the whole year long. And Codemasters did not have a chance to get this bug out of the game, or they didn't try, I don't know. Anyway, this has always been very, very annoying, at least especially for me as a broadcaster, because after the first interval, after the start for 1.5 laps, you have no idea what's happening. This is so hard to cover it to get everything to maintain overview in the first 1 or 2 laps. And so I'm, yeah, if I say I'm rather happy for an early safety car phase, this is a bit of a strange sentence, but you know now how I mean it. And we are now here. I think now the standings are correct already, and we see Zenex Josh leading the way. I mean, it's Bernd Meidender leading the way, 2 Mercedes, Meidender in P0, the other Mercedes, Zenex Josh in P1. Another pit stops. This is Sargent Collins. Sargent, last place, and H. Collins. Jason Sargent? Huh? Did not understand that. Switching from mediums to mediums. Not having a new nose needed. He is now in P14, so maybe this was just... Maybe his only intention was to get rid of the 5 seconds penalty. Otherwise, I just cannot understand what he did. And last place. And Collins have changed to hard tires. I don't think they can go through now the whole race on hards. This is the hardest compound, C1. But still, I doubt that they can make it through. We will watch what they will do strategy-wise. Maybe they already hope on a later safety car phase by now, for in a good moment for them, and take advantage of that. Then we are getting towards the end of sector 2, and then we will know if the safety car will be in this lap. That could be possible. Yep, safety car in this lap. That means that the next Josh will pace the field here in the last sector. He is running in a medium fast pace. Hasn't picked up the pace yet, but he will do so very soon, I guess. And back to green condition. The next Josh has picked up the pace. We are in lap 4, and for the first time now we are in racing condition. This and next lap we will have to wait, then we will see DRS being activated. He could not shake off Kian Stevens entirely, but he is too far away for an attack, and behind, maybe Grim Revere is close enough. Not yet. He is rather steadily with 3.5 tenths on the long camel straight behind Skin Dog. Likewise is Corby. And Jair behind. Jair already in the points. Jair already in 9th, and now maybe... No, not yet. Not yet. But he is aggressively behind Corby. Jair knows that he needs to make up a lot of positions. He needs to make it at least onto the podium if he wants to really take advantage of the fact that his main rival, Zondi, isn't racing tonight. He is close to Corby and now got the position gifted. Corby is out, running into the barrier there, and we have a VSC. Luckily, no safety car again, just a VSC. That is enough, according to Michael Masi. And have a look. The two Ferraris, Gavin Poynton and Weatherman Harry, already back to the points. Back in the top 10 after both had a crash in the opening lap. So this is it. In online racing, you don't have to be bulletproof. You don't have to be the ultimately fastest. You just have to pull through and try to be the one who makes the least mistakes. And on a track like Spa, it is rather easy to commit a mistake. And Jason Sargent, yes, has pushed ahead over our admin Gavin Poynton. Oh, and Poynton losing another position. Maybe. Here against Son of Simpson. He lost 2, maybe 3 positions plus a penalty. Losing 2 positions, but getting 3 seconds of penalty instead. And in the background we see Shippo battling against Collins behind and hoping to take advantage of the struggling Poynton ahead. And Skin Dog is out! There's some debris, and where is the car? Where is the car? Didn't see it. We have a safety car. Didn't see it, didn't catch it. We just saw the debris, but no car. I don't know if I was blind. I hope that you might have spotted him. Drive-through penalty against Luke Beck. That will ruin his race eventually. A lot of pit stops now from the soft starters. And Jason Sargent in again. 5 laps, 3 pit stops for Sargent. Not really sure what that is about. He's stopping for Hearts. Yeah, he can try to make it through on this set now. Okay. That one makes sense. The second pit stop I didn't understand, but okay. Weatherman Harry is trying the same. Fresh Hearts for him. Likewise to J.R. Morgan. So they probably can make it through. At least they will attempt. Ooh, and Cenex Josh in third has Hearts fresh Hearts mounted too. So he will try to go through too, and he is in a good position to do so. There's another one, Kian Stevens, fresh Hearts in P6, not a bad position likewise. And the P1, P2, Luke Beck. Yeah, we can ignore Luke Beck. Sadly. He has ruined his race with the drive-through penalty he has in his backpack. He will have to do it after the safety car phase, and then he is last, dead last. And Grim Revere is up into second. That's not bad, but I think he missed a good position. He missed a good spot, a good moment for a pit stop, like Zenex Josh did, and Morgan and Jair, Weatherman Harry and Sargent. But Jair is on mediums. Jair is not on hards in P12. He will not make it through the race on mediums. So he will hope for another safety car phase later, and not so unrealistic. This is lap 6. We did not see the DRS being activated. We did see 2 safety car phases and a VSC. So the likeliness of having another safety car phase later in the race is rather high, I would like to say. When the safety car phase will end, it is lap 8, and then in lap 10 the DRS will be activated. Lap 10, this is halfway through the race, when then for the first time the IS will be activated, almost halfway. Not look back. No, pit stop for Hartz, fresh Hartz. Not a bad idea, but still he has to. He's now already in last position, and then he'll need to serve a drive through, and he will be in last position again. Then with run about 25 seconds behind P13, behind Jason Sargent. Then let's have a short look about the penalties. Only the drive-through against Lubeck is worth mentioning. The rest, the +3, that's still rather okay. So, yeah, the field is packed together, so we can expect, I would like to say, that safety car will be called back into the pits at the end of this lap. This time, already by now, we sit on the shoulder of Zinek's Josh, who was the pacemaker in Sector 3 on the first safety car phase. Zinek's Josh, who obviously is playing the game on controller pad. Yeah, we will sit on his shoulder now and watch the restart, this time from his angle. Let's see what or how good Grim Revere will do the restart then on his old softs already. So fresh hearts on Josh's car against old softs on Revere's Red Bull. So the flashing lights are off. Safety car in this lap. Grim Revere is not slow, not fast either. Not so sure how his strategy is looking like for the restart. Now in bus stop they are close. Now he's slow, still slow. And away we go, off we go. Zinek's Josh had a little bit of slide on acceleration, and that was a problem in the end. He was close to Revere, close enough to consider an attack, but in the end it was his own acceleration that caught him out. But they are close to each other, then already over a second, and then we see Son of Simpson attacking Gavin Poynton on the camel straight behind. We see Kean Stevens, a formerly pole setter. Wheel to wheel, and Gavin has crashed. Our admin is where is he? Where is he? There he is. Crawling out of the chicane. He needs a new nose. So Luke Beck will not be last then after serving the drive-through penalty, because that will probably be Gavin Poynton. Losing control of his car there. And Weatherman Harry is going sideways too, so both the Ferraris, if they are struggling simultaneously. Something like a parallel dancing contest with between the Ferraris, and this is going to be a problem. Weatherman Harry will return to the pits for a new nose, plus has a penalty, and Gavin Poynton will do the same, and Poynton will have to wait behind his teammate then. Oh, this does not look good for Team Ferrari here tonight. Oh, another damage to the already damaged nose, doesn't matter anymore. Not look back in, probably for his drive-through. Meanwhile, we have reached halftime in the soccer match. So Weatherman Harry is being serviced while Poynton is still waiting there. We had it the other way around. Harry waiting behind Poynton earlier in the race. But it was under safety car, so the time loss wasn't that big. We are having another yellow because Jason Sargent or... Ah no! Son of Zimp had a spin there after the camel straight, and Gavin Poynton has given up. Has stepped out of his car, just left it in the garage and retired. So Grim Revere is still leading over Zinek's Josh. Then a big 3.5 seconds gap to Kean Stevens. My goodness, that is really big. Didn't expect that. But it looks like Josh is faster than the Red Bull. It looks like the Mercedes on his fresh hards can go faster than the Red Bull on the old softs. And now next lap, finally DRS will be activated, and then on the long camel straight, Josh will probably very easily cruise by Grim Revere. Oh! The position swap already before Eau Rouge in La Source. I'm not sure if Grim Revere did that on purpose, or if he had a braking malfunction, or if he did it on purpose to have DRS now on camel straight. Haha. There it is. Grim Revere back in the leads. But this was backed up due to the fact that Genex Josh didn't go through Eau Rouge very well. He had to take some exit, some extra lane there on the right hand side at the end of Eau Rouge, so this backed up the counter attack from Grim Revere. So finally some DRS attacks. This has been the first DRS overtake, by the way, in this race. In lap 10. And in lap 10, although we had 2 safety car phases, we have just 1/4 approximately of the grid that is without penalty seconds. So 9 of 13 drivers are penalized. And now Josh is close. Blanchimont attacking him in the bus stop, and he should be ahead. Yes, he is. Ah, Grim Revere into the pits. Grim Revere into the pits. That's why Josh was so comfortably ahead there. And this makes this a threesome battle for the lead now. And have a look who is there. There is Jair. Jair starting in last position and is up into third, but still in need of a pit stop, while those 2 drivers ahead might, I say might, make it through the race on their each set of hards right now. Jair is in theory the faster driver on his mediums, so he needs to make his tire work because of the fact that he needs another pit stop. This will be a very, very interesting battle that is looming here for the lead. I hope it's okay for the other drivers that I will focus on this here right now. For the moment, the only drivers plus P12 Son of Simp who are not penalized here in Blanchimont. Different lanes. Ooh, late attack from Jair against his teammate, but I think that wasn't a real attack. He was just a bit too late on the brake. but it went well in the end, I suppose. At least I don't think there is damage to anyone's car. Let's see how they will go through Eau Rouge here in the dirty air. Eau Rouge is already very difficult, and with dirty air even more. But now for the moment it looks like as if Zenex Josh has crawled away a little bit, at least far enough not to be attacked here on Camel Straight. But everyone DS equipped except Josh. Josh providing it for the drivers behind him. So this could turn into a problem for him sooner or later. Speaking of troubles, he and Stevens had a bit of a braking issue there in the downturning, down steep corner. Turn 4 that is. Now maybe, oh, this is dangerous here in the middle sector. Ah, wow, and Jair pushed through. Whew. That was hard. But fair. No problem, no real issue, no unfair driving. Ja, hi Amo Green. Grüß dich Gott. Schade, dass es bei mir sonntags nicht so gut ausschaut, aber Montagabend Dragon Force, da geht's besser. Amo Green, one driver of German League, my native tongue, German League that I sometimes participate in on Sunday evening. And Zenex Josh is still defending his lead. Oh, hi Peter. Hello. One of the drivers who did not have time, at least couldn't make it to the lights out. Nice to have you at least on board here on the chat box, watching your lads driving. And Jair is unable to attack Josh, so that means that Zenex Josh, who is not DS equipped, has a good straight line speed, and now he does. Ah, interesting. Jair is making up the positions not on the DS straight, but in the turns. And now Josh is maybe struggling against an attack from Kean Stevens. Weatherman Harry is out. Safety car number 3 after Weatherman Harry has run his Ferrari into the barrier in Eau Rouge. And I expect Jair to pit now. Likewise to Cabri, Nikon, and who else? Michael Shipley and last place. And Collins. They could, 10 laps remaining. I think you can finish the race from now on mediums anyway. Maybe even on softs. We have seen, who was it? I think it was Grim Revere who was the last on his starting soft tire after 8 laps. So maybe 10 laps on totally fresh softs are possible. And the pit crew of Zenex Josh has softs, Jair has softs. So the drivers were thinking the same as I did. Capricorn on softs. Everyone on softs, Sargent too. Jair and Zenex Josh both stopped. Kean Stevens did not. That was a big mistake from Kean Stevens. Everyone who is stopping is doing so for softs, except last place and J.R. Morgan. They will continue the race on mediums. Kean Stevens is leading on old hards, so that will be a problem. He will be chewed up by everyone behind him, who is running on the much faster soft tire. And for this safety car phase, I will take a breather now, and I'm back with you in a moment. So this is now lap 15. I expect the safety car to be called in at the end of this lap. So with the restart lap 16, that will mean we have 7 laps of racing left, 5 of them with DRS. I hope that this is the last safety car phase now for today. And Kian Stevens is in trouble. Kian Stevens, he is leading now, but that will change rather quickly. Kian Stevens will have deep trouble. He will be chewed up. Not only that, his hearts are questionable if he can make it through in general, but even more of importance that 2 drivers behind him are on fresh softs, then 1 rather fresh mediums, and then another whole bunch of drivers on fresh softs. So that will be trouble giving for him, and I'm very sure he knows it. Kian is a smart, intelligent driver. He knows that he is not in a good position here. And yeah, safety car in this lap. Let's just see what will happen here now, especially for Jair and Zenex Josh. And Jair is second. That is the big topic. Jair is second with a struggling Kian Stevens ahead of him. That means that Jair, who started in last position, just want to speak that out again, make it clear again. Jair starting in last position. He has very good chances to winning this race, and I mentioned it already a few times, with his championship main rival Sondi inactive tonight, he could make up a lot of very valid and valuable points if he can win this race. He is rather close to his teammate, but Zenex Josh is too. So this is the restart view of Zenex Josh, who needs to make up points too from his DNF. Last place is out. He lost his car in Eau Rouge. While we are watching this battle here, Jair already through. Jair didn't take even half a lap until he muscled through. Last place is gone. Good night to you. Thanks for attending. Yeah, and with every turn that Kian Stevens is now holding up Zenex Josh, this will secure Jair's win a little bit more. Kian and Jair are actually not teammates. This is just by accident here tonight. Jair is actually a Racing Point driver. I don't know why he opted for an AlphaTauri, because the second Racing Point should have been open for him. Anyway, it is as it is, and Kian Stevens, even if they are not real teammates, he is doing some good teammates job for Jair, holding up Zenex Josh, who now has muscled through. Zenex Josh up in second. Oh, have a look, Kian Stevens is battling back, counter-attack. And in the background, the McLaren of Cabrine-Con over Grim Revier. And now, still ahead of, before Eau Rouge. Zenex Josh reacquired his P2. On long term, this battle is definitely pro Zenex Josh because of the fresh softs, but Stevens hold him up for 1.5 seconds, and is still battling, so that will cost Josh another few tenths, and all that works in favor of Jair, who is now over 2, maybe even 2.5 seconds away from Kian Stevens, of Zenex Josh, of course. What happened there? Zenex Josh has spun. Zenex Josh was out there in turn 6. And I suppose he touched the inside curb, and this is one of the most vicious inside curbs in the whole game, in the whole race Canada. If you touch it, you're gone, and so happened to him. So the next Josh down to P8, and now, well, looks like a clear win for Jair. At least now it's this man's race to lose. Jair, fastest lap of the race. 3.5 seconds gap to his teammate Kian Stevens, who is under pressure by Capricorn, I don't know. Who now had a whole lot of grass there and went around Kian Stevens. Dangerous situation. I don't think that he overtook him while running over the grass, but he was running on dirt before getting close to Kian, so he could have easily lost his car there. Dangerous situation, but in the end it paid off. He's now 4.5 seconds behind Jair, so this will... this could have been easy going for Jair, but the leader has a penalty now, and let's have a look at the penalty situation for the rest of the race, as probably everyone is done with his tire strategy. So we see a +3 for the leader, some +3s then, and not look back is out. Here at the beginning of Sector 3, this was really one big car cemetery here tonight, here and Eau Rouge, just like in every race in Spa. Yeah, I wanted to say, Jair has a +3, likewise to Kian Stevens, Jason Sargent, Grim Revere, Zenex, Josh, and this man, Son of Simp. And then we see some multiple +3s like H. Collins and J.R. Morgan having 12 seconds. And this is important because Jair must stay away by 3 or more seconds from Capricorn in order to stay in the lead. Now he is exactly at 5 seconds. So right now everything is fine for Jair, but he cannot commit a mistake. And behind, have a look, Kian Stevens on his old horse is still battling. Backed up from the IS, of course, but still he is staying close to Capricorn. And behind, the sergeant is looming. There he is, getting closer to Kian Stevens. So this is a 3-man battle for P2. But of course, backed up with a penalty situation, because Capricorn, the only one not having a penalty, that means of course that he is in a better position eventually in the end. And now Kian Stevens back in P2, and with all those drivers fighting, that is of course backing up the lead from for Jair. 7.5 seconds away. So this is smooth sailing right now for Jair. He can lift it. He does not have to give it everything. He can just cruise it home now. While we probably will watch these three men fighting out who will be on the podium in the end. Caprinicon here against Sargent. Maybe a little bit of attack there. Oh, that definitely was attack. Maybe even more than just attack. By the way, I can tell you right now there is a penalty shot pro Switzerland against France. While we see Caprinicon and Sargent battling in bus stop. And Hugo Lloris has saved the penalty. Still one sip for Switzerland. And almost as much tension is in between here. You cannot go wheel to wheel through Eau Rouge, and Kean Stevens is ahead of Caprinicon and then Sargent ahead here. So really, yeah, a lot of respect to Kean Stevens for maintaining this good race, this good position on his old hards against fresher soft runners. He is still sitting in P2. He will lose second position. That is more or less safe that he will drop against Caprinicon. Sargent will not get ahead. So the big question now is just, can Caprinicon stay penalty-less until the end of the race? If he can, he will be second. And then it's the question, who is third and fourth, Sargent or Stevens? We are in the last lap. Jair is in very comfortable lead. He did what I told him, more or less. Win this race to make up a lot of points on Sondi. I don't know if Sondi was watching this race here in the stream. If he did, he was hoping for the other drivers, and in the end, the one will win that should not have won in his mind, in Sondi's mind. And there is maybe the final attack for P2, and Caprinicon did it. And they did it. They did it. France equalized. 1-1 pro France. Right now, this is minute 57. So after the race, there is still at least half an hour of Euro football, Euro soccer left for us to watch. The next, Josh is in 6th position, but with 9 seconds of penalties. That could be a problem for him in the end. Likewise to H. Collins, so it will go a bit backwards for him in the end. J.R. Morgan received a 10 seconds penalty at once. I don't know what he did, but he is close to getting disqualified. Anyway, that all doesn't matter, because this is the race win for this man. Congratulations to Jair, winning the race, coming back from last position in the starting grid. In second, penalty-less, Mr. Caprinicon. I have no idea how he's pronounced, but he had a very, very good race. Congratulations to McLaren. And another very, very good race, and especially a very good final stint for our initial pole setter, Kean Stevens. And CNX Josh has retired, has thrown it away in the last lap, just a few 100 meters away from the checkered flag. He will probably receive points still. And I don't know if it will count, but believe it or not, France is leading. After just 2 minutes, they have changed the table in the quarterfinals football game. It's now 2-1 France. I didn't see it, I just see them celebrate here on my phone stream next to me. Jair is the driver of the day. I think that's undoubtable. And still waiting for the confirmation if France is really leading. Anyway, this is the virtual champagne here for our leaders. Yep, France will be leading. This goal will be valid. Not confirmed yet, but I can tell you this is a legal goal. So here is our final result after the Belgium Grand Prix. He has won it ahead of Caprinicon and Kean Stevens. Then in fourth, Jason Sargent. Fifth, Grim Revere. Sixth, Son of Simp. Seventh is Michael Shipley, the legend. Eighth, H. Collins. Ninth, J.R. Morgan with a monstrous penalty amount. Dinex Josh has thrown it away, but still he is in the classification as 10th. Will receive 1 point for it. DNF'd was not look back last place. Weatherman Harry, Gavin Poynton, Skindog Corby, and Tom HKR. So this has been race number 7 out of 10 in season 7. We will be back next Monday. Then we will turn towards Bahrain. One of my personal favorite tracks, I have to admit. So thanks for being with us here on this evening. I hope you will have a good week. And enjoy the rest of the evening. Enjoy the Euro match that is still ongoing. And I hope to have you back with us the next time I bring a virtual race to your living room. I'm Sepp Bauer. Glad you were with us. And have a pleasant evening. Stay safe in these times. And keep racing.